Hey guys, Lou Wizard here with another video on Gems of War, and we've got a few things going on this week. We have a new event, and so I want to go over a team that I set up for that already, and that's really the main thing in this video, but there is a few good weapons in the Soul Forge, so I want to go over and talk about those first. For weapons here, most weeks there really isn't that great of a weapon in here, but this week we have two that are pretty good. Doomed Club is fantastic. Is one of my favorite weapons. These doomed weapons that convert a certain color of gem into doom skulls. I just love them. They do spell damage as well to all enemies. So not only are you doing spell damage, but you're also doing skull damage. And doom skulls do more damage than regular ones. So these weapons are fantastic. It is 900 diamonds and there's 60,000 souls. So these resources are a little bit, you might not have enough of the jewels here or the celestial trade stones, but if you have been saving up these things here, 900 diamonds is a very good price for this type of weapon, because when you think about it, it costs like what, 4,000 diamonds for a mythic troop. 900 for this sort of a weapon is a really great price. So if you've been saving up your resources and you don't have this weapon yet, I would definitely recommend getting this one. Flammifer here is really good. Creates 10 red gems, and this isn't based on your current magic. The damage that it does is, but the 10 red gems is not. So if you get this even earlier in the game, you'll still be creating those 10 red gems, which is nice. And this weapon works really good for looping potential with certain teams that use a lot of red gems, like Yao. Yao Guy uses red gems. It's a very powerful legendary troop, and in combination with this, it works pretty well. And there's some other team and troops that also work really good with this one, so I would say that's a really good weapon as well. I'd say it's second though to Doomed Club, just because of the spell damage and the skull damage that this thing creates. Really powerful weapon. So those are two weapons there. They're in the forge this week that are really good. Troops, I'm not going to go over everything like I used to in the older days. I just wanted to mention Pan is a really good mythic troop. I wouldn't say that it's the best. There's definitely other mythic troops that are better than this one, but this is, in my opinion, probably within like somewhere in a top 15. Probably towards close to the bottom of a top 10. Maybe in between 10 and 15, somewhere in there. I'm probably going to do maybe a video in the near future on like the top 10 or 15 mythics, in my opinion, in the game right now, because they've released a lot of mythics. They release a new one every month. So there's been a lot in there since I did my last video on mythic troops. So I'll probably do another one in the near future on what I think is like the top 10, top 15 mythic troops, because if you're newer to the game, there's so many troops in the game, you don't know which ones are really good. And if you're saving up those diamonds, it's going to take you several months to save up the 4,000 diamonds that it takes to actually buy a mythic troop. And so you want to buy a mythic troop that's going to be really good for you, because it takes so long to save up those diamonds to buy one. So I'll probably do a video in the near future on that. Well, here we are with the current event, Odorous Oozes. This is the only event going on this week. And so I was playing around with a couple of teams. There's not a lot of great troops for this. The boost for the metal is spell damage. So that's what we want to focus on, is doing spell damage with our team. And of course, you can buy more of these tokens to get up to a medal. I'm actually not sure if the medals stack, because so for example, if you have a medal, it'll give you 160% spell damage for all troops in the current event. But if you get 2 medals, I'm not sure if they stack. That's something I'm not sure about. Maybe one of you guys know, and you can leave a comment under this video letting me know if they do stack or not. I've never tested that out. But right now I have a badge which gives me 40%, and that's good enough for the early stages. But yeah, I've been playing around a little bit with a few different teams. What we're restricted to for this event is striker and generator troops. So that's great for generation. There's not a whole lot of good striker troops from what I could see looking through it. So I kind of built together a team that's, focused on spell damage, but also mana generation and looping potential. So with this team here, we have a lot of looping. I'll explain it a little bit here real quick, and then we'll jump into a couple battles. So right away here, my main mana generator is Merilith. Merilith is a good mana generator no matter what team I'm using. It just destroys lots of gems on the board, anywhere from like 30 to 40, depending on like how high your magic is. Well, it's going to do less if you're a lower level, but for me it tends to bounce between 30 and 40 depending on where my magic is. But it also gains 6 attack, does 6 true damage, but the main reason I'm using it is that mana generation. Now, I do have a banner that is double green and double red. Merilith itself, if you have it traded down to the second one, gains a bonus to red. So right now, with the banner and with the troop, I get a bonus of 3 red there every time I match red on the board. So we're going to fill up a lot of red. And then, as you can probably see here already, I'm using the Sunspear class. And the Sunspear class, if you fully trade it, it will create a Firestorm at the start of every turn, which is fantastic. It's great for a team like this that's focusing on looping. Now, I'm putting here Goblin Rocket because it's just a really good way to kind of control the board and generate a little bit of extra mana, as well as doing that spell damage. So it does 31 light splash damage. So splash damage is going to do some damage to the troops above and below whatever troop that you hit. And it also gains an extra turn, which is another way that's going to help us. Now, another thing here, too, that I didn't mention, I was saying I was getting a 3 bonus to red, but Goblin Rocket gives me also a bonus to red in the first trait, Firelink. So we're getting a lot of bonus to red with this sort of a team, and we're just really going to control the board. Now, I have the Dragon Soul here in the last slot, simply for more mana generation as well as damaging all enemies. It deals 8 damage to all enemies. So you could switch out Dragon Soul with something else, but right now that's what I got going. And really the main damage thing here in my team is this weapon, Summer's Fury. This thing does damage to all enemies. It's pretty good damage too, and then it will also create 6 red gems. So we're getting a lot of red gems being created here with the Firestorm and with the weapon. And we can manipulate the board. We can continue to loop and get extra turns with the Goblin Rocket. So I'll show you here what's going on with this. Once you get the Merilith powered up, it's pretty much you just control the board. So we're going to do this. We create that. We got an extra turn. It filled up again, so I could continue to keep casting this. One more cast and they're all dead, or I can choose to do Goblin Rocket and try to continue filling up the rest of the troops. But the thing I like about this sort of a team, and one of the things, and I guess it's just kind of personal opinion, but one of the things I like to focus on in almost every team that I build is focusing on that mana generation, like looping, destroying gems, exploding gems, converting gems. I really, sometimes using like 2 troops for mana generation really makes a difference. I don't know if I'd ever try to do more than 2 in a team, just because you do need that damage. Now, if you have one troop that's like just really good with its damage potential, like maybe Tina 9000, for example, does a lot of damage and it's true damage. If you have a troop like that, you might be able to have 3 mana generating troops in a team and focus on just that troop for damage. But generating mana is really important in this game, in my opinion, because the faster that your damage troop or troops or weapon is able to power up, the more damage that you can do, and the faster you can do it. So it's really kind of a speed game as far as you need to get your weapons and your troops powered up as quickly as possible so you continue to do that damage. Let's see here. I will just cast this again. So as you can see, there is quite a bit of looping potential here. There's really not a lot of downtime. There's a couple of turns here or there where the enemy gets a couple of turns in, but it's pretty fluid team here. We'll go ahead and do that, and as you can see, like I could cast this and then the weapon would fill up, But I'm going to cast Goblin Rocket. We're going to choose to explode a little area. And that could have filled this up. It almost did. But with that, now this is full. We're going to cast that. We got more red gems that came down. I'm going to use the Dragon Soul. And he's pretty. This guy's dead. But yeah, that with all the boosts that we have for matching red and the Firestorm, it's beautiful. Here's a level 80. Let's see how quick we can kill this team. Alright, go ahead and destroy a bunch of stuff. A little Goblin Rocket. Destroy the board again. There we go. Yeah, I guess I'll get this 4-match down there. Sometimes you get unlucky and like the gems that it creates doesn't match. But then you get lucky like that and then they do match. Alright, I'll just do this, fill up a bunch of that, and boom. So that was pretty quick. So yeah, I really like this team. The Dragon Soul, however, it's kind of like it's just there as an option. But let me go over like some of the things here. The only Mythic troops that I see that are available for this event is Flame of Anu, the Flaming Oni, Shade of Zorn. And Shade of Zorn is just really bad. It's one of the worst Mythics. It does do a little spell damage, but it's mostly focused on like skull damage from yeah, and like the spell damage it does is just to one enemy. It doesn't look that great. This is more mana generation. It does convert 2 red gems to burning gems, so you can do a lot of burning damage with it, but you can't do any damage with this, so it's really just a mana generation there. Flame of Anu is a pretty poor Mythic troop. It really should be a legendary troop. It's way too high of a mana cost for the amount of damage it does. Deals 32 damage to the first 2 enemies. It's just really not that good of a troop. You know, and then you have other troops that do mana generation, like Divinia. Jarl Fire Mantle does some mana generation, but a little bit of damage there, but it's only to 1 enemy. And the rest of these troops in here are pretty much just like 1 enemy damage troops or mana generators. Now, you do have a lot of good mana generators in here, like Harpy Mage, but you know, it's just you really need to focus on some kind of damage. You can never really win a game. I mean, you could, but it would be really slow if all you had was like mana generators, like Exploders and Destroyers. You're gonna do a little tiny bit of damage if you destroy or explode skulls on the board, but that's pretty much the only way you can, or matching skulls with them. But yeah, you need some kind of troop that does some good heavy damage. One of the things you could do is put like double Goblin Rocket in here because we have so much red on the board. I might do that just to see what goes on with that, because we have so much red on the board that both of them will probably fill up. Plus, you get an extra bonus here with the Fire Link to having double of them in there. And you can pretty much just you can get extra turns with them, so that's really cool. But yeah, there just really isn't a lot of good troops for this event. Cast the first Goblin Rocket, and we got a Firestorm going, but we don't have a whole lot of red. There we go. So basically, you could use 1 Goblin Rocket, you could use a second Goblin Rocket for those extra turns. Then you could do this with the Summer's Fury weapon, and we'll go ahead and destroy everything there. I got an extra turn there. Now everything's full again, and you could just use you could just having 2 Goblin Rockets isn't really that bad. Not that bad. Yep. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for you this week for this event. Later this week, I might do a video, you know, on just a regular team that we can use for PvP. or maybe you know, for the underworld. So I'll think a little bit about that and see if I can come up with a team that I can do a video about. Thanks as always, guys, for watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next video. Later.